Welcome back to Shantae, Half-Genie hero, and Risky's up to no good again, even though we beat her in the first level, so what are we supposed to do now?
Help Uncle with his weird, hobby trains. I don't know. So that's kind of, I think, one place where I do think that Pirate's Curse is better than Half-Genie Hero is that the story is much more cohesive. You can tell that Half-Genie Hero is very much a collection of different plots.
The collection of mini stories.
A collection of mini stories, which has its own. It has its own charm. I'm not complaining about that. It's just very odd considering how we just came off of Pirate's Curse, which was a very front to back complete story.
It was an epic conclusion to what the previous game started. I get what you're saying. At the same time, I think it's actually nice to step back and have an episodic chain of adventures after that kind of long, well, not necessarily long, but really focused and big storyline, you know?
Yeah, my thing is, the other pieces of that story are not here yet. You know?
I don't think that we're gonna be getting a lot of plot out of these extra modes.
It is just a bit disheartening where there are some things that are brought up, but they don't really do anything with that. And the biggest one I could think of is in the form of Holly.
Oh, we'll be getting to her. She's the next chapter after this one.
Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't seen much of her yet, but I just know she's going to be annoying when I do.
She's not in the game very much at all. Is the big thing.
No.
I think when it comes to the extra modes, I know the biggest comparison we've got right now is Shovel Knight, which goes all out with its extra playable character modes. But I think that it might be a little bit of a pipe dream to expect something similar from Half-Genie Hero. I think we're probably a little bit more likely to get something akin to Mega Man Powered Up, where we'll get altered dialogue and unique movement and stuff, but it's mostly going to be the same game every time, which is fine. You know, it's that in and of itself always warrants an extra playthrough for me, is having a complete new character who plays differently. That always gets me excited. I love doing that. But, you know, it's just the closest comparison is also, you know, not only is it a complete new character with new movement and abilities, and, you know, it's not just slightly reworked dialogue, it's a completely new plot with extra areas and whole new mechanics and whatnot. I don't think we're likely to get that. I think we're probably going to get characters that will have upgrades that will allow you to do some of the things that Shantae can naturally do, and it will be a little bit more simple. And again, that's, you know, I would have been just fine if Shovel Knight ended up having a powered up styled character select mode. That would have been fine, but it's not bad inherently. It's just, you know, compared to the competition, it's a little bit underwhelming, but I'm still super pumped that we're going to be able to have 4 extra playable characters for this game. And, you know, Bolo will finally be able to do something, which is nice. Get the warp dance. Get the... I
was going to say, it's so early in the game, I can't get much stuff, so there's no point right now.
Wait, did you get shampoo or... Did you get shampoo or cream?
I got the shampoo and cream. I was literally like 6 away from getting the other one, so I'm like, okay, go into the art gallery, come back out, and respawn all the jars and just get it.
There's a really easy way to grind money pretty fast in this town, and it's the gallery door triggers a load time that causes the pots to respawn when you come back out, and you get a sizable amount of money from those pots right outside the door every time you do that. So your money will go up pretty quick. It's not I wouldn't recommend grinding for all the items in the shop, but you can get all the basic level 1 stuff pretty quickly.
Yeah, that
won't take very long at all. There's even a money dance in this game.
Oh, I only recommend doing that when you're grinding specifically for stuff from the Naga shop, though, because it gets rid of your warp dance, and you really want to keep that around. But
there's also a means of grinding with that easily. I mean, you get the money dance, go inside a bathhouse, dance inside the middle of the water, and
just keep doing it over and over.
Just keep doing it over and over again, because that dance causes magic.
or you could get all the gallery keys and get the tiara.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Like I was
Infinite magic and just dance forever.
I was
Infinite magic
short.
and just dance forever.
That was shocking as hell. Like
Yeah, that's game breaking.
It's like you get infinite magic.
Yeah.
It's like, what the shit?
Well, okay, we should mention one interesting thing about Half-Genie Hero. You can turn upgrades off, which is actually really interesting. And I think they have that because some of the later game stuff is really game-breaking. So, I'm not surprised. Yeah, go back to Main Street and get the monkey bullet.
Providing that option, well, it's not a completely new thing, but providing that option is nice for one thing in particular: challenge runs. Challenge runs are things that gamers really like to do, and giving them a toggle switch for that kind of thing. It's.
Well, if you're gonna do that, then just don't get the upgrade period.
Well, no, it allows you to do a low percent 100%, which I think is really engaging. Kind of like the heart squids in.
Ted,
what?
You notice how the dog is not...
Oh, you monster. You absolute monster.
Whipping that dog is canon.
You shut up.
Blame John, not me.
Yeah, but anyway, a low percent 100% run, I think, does have a lot of challenge for people. Not a lot of incentive for people. This was like the one heart holder I didn't find until the very end of the game. I missed this one completely.
Really? I saw that on my first playthrough. I'm like, well, that's oddly suspicious.
I just, you know what? I'm normally good about finding that kind of stuff. That one just, my eyes glazed over it. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, the color, the lighting in this area makes it a bit easy to see, though.
Yeah, I had to pay attention. Ryan had to say, "Oh, there's a hidden hole with the monkey dance." And I had to look for it in order to be like, oh yeah, the Main Street actually was kind of the bane of my existence for my first playthrough because I was missing a lot of upgrades in here. Like I missed the flower.
There's a lot of stuff here that you can't get until much later.
Yeah, like there's something that you can't get until you get the Harpy Dance, which is the last mandatory one.
So realizing this is just a case of the game letting you play a level over again, but the people in the town will give you hints about stuff that you can find in this stage. So it's like, okay, is Main Street still on fire? Is Main Street still on fire?
The whole city's on fire.
There's a whole. It's a joke. I love that joke. Like even in the world map, it's on fire, and it'll never be.
They say they fix it at the end of the game. They say at the end of the game it's better, but
yeah, but I'm pretty sure once we go like Roddy Top mode or risky mode, it'll still be on fire. We might be causing the fire.
Yeah. So one thing that I will say about Half-Genie Hero over Pirate's Curse, I think the script is funnier. Obviously it's a less serious story. So, Pirate's Curse wasn't super serious to begin with, considering that that's the game with the Tanline Temple shenanigans. But it's being episodic allows it, I think, there to be more humor. And there's a lot of lines in this game that got me to laugh out loud, which I appreciate.
So the series that I like, the new entry in it, I can't tell if it's a reboot, a relaunch. A soft reboot or a soft reboot, a soft robot rabbit.
What? To go on that though, when Half-Genie Hero was being shown off first, I originally thought this was a prequel, like to the first game, like how we were going to see Shantae get her bearings and how she began her.
What gave you that impression?
For some reason, like I remember one of the first things they showed off with Shantae was her. I don't know, it's really weird, but like one of the first they showed her was her in her pajamas.
Oh yeah, the intro sequence.
Yeah, the intro sequence, like. And she's talking to this ball of light, and I'm like, oh, is this where we first see her genie powers awaken, and like she doesn't realize what her destiny is yet? And then they brought in Holly, who was also a half genie, and it's like, oh, maybe she was Scuttletown's previous half genie guardian.
No, well, they said that. No, I wouldn't say that that's the case because the description for it.
No, I'm not saying what they said, but more like what I got from it.
Well, if you read the Kickstarter thing, it very clearly said you've been replaced by Holly. So it wasn't like we're replacing.
Oh God, I like how Bolo just goes on a total Ron Weasley trip right now.
Yeah, Bolo.
There's Bolo.
Bolo's my favorite. He's so stupid.
And honestly, the name of the subtitle of this game, Half-Genie Hero, I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I like how the logo actually writes it out as a fraction. That wasn't even a colloquialism. That's what you took from that, Shantae? Really?
Well, the thing is that Bolo doesn't even really have any significance here. He's just kind of there.
You see him in the background in a certain part of the level.
Oh, you do? I didn't know
that. He can on the conveyor belt with the fake mermaids. You can see him get caught up in that multiple times throughout that area.
Oh, okay.
And he gets and
I like little details like that.
And the payoff is that the fake mermaid fin gets like slapped onto his top half instead of his bottom half.
Well, that also explains how he got in the barrel by the end of the stage.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for it.
This level, which I'm pretty sure was like 2/3 or maybe all of the early demo that we got, is it really made me laugh because it's just such an off the wall scenario that fits so well with Shantae's world and story. Where what's his name? Techno whatever.
Techno Baron.
Techno Baron, yes. He's kidnapping women to make them into fake mermaids so that he can sell fake monster chow because he ran out of actual mermaids. Even though we're fighting actual mermaids throughout this area.
They're an endangered species. We're probably going to get fined by the EPA by the end of it. Just use your monkey dance, Ryan. Whatever.
Yeah, I actually had to
very methodical.
Actually had to remember that. It took me a few minutes to remember that the monkey dance lets you jump higher. It also took me a few minutes to remember that I had a shield spell, and that was a surefire way to get past the mermaids without taking any hits.
It's kind of weird. Like I think in this game the monkey dance does just straight up jump a little bit higher than Shantae.
It does, yeah. It does.
Yeah.
It's just like Shantae 1. Jumps higher and right faster.
I've played Risky's Revenge the most. Well, I played Pirate's Curse the most at this point, but I played a lot of Risky's Revenge when that was new. And the thing about the monkey in that game is that it jumps the exact same height. Shantae's head is the same height at the height of the monkey's jump as it is for the height of her normal jump. It's just that her bottom half is shorter, so you can just barely get onto things that you wouldn't be able to reach as normal Shantae. But I will say, I love that they brought back the dances, because I forgot how much I enjoyed, like, even just jumping around as the monkey and being able to climb walls and stuff. It's just fun to do. The movement is very unique. Well, maybe not necessarily unique, because there's probably other games that have something similar, but being able to quickly transform in and out, turn into a monkey, be able to like climb on walls or go back and forth with the bullet between two different walls. I forgot how much I enjoyed the basic movement in platforming in a classic styled Shantae. And that's not like you were saying before, it's not super complex. It's not anything that, is super brain taxing most of the time, but it's just fun. And that's why I didn't realize how much I missed it since I started Pirate's Curse.
Yeah, well, those that listen to the previous commentaries know that I didn't miss the dancing, like I said in Pirate's Curse. That said, I don't mind it here. I do appreciate how fast-paced dancing is in this game. Although I will say though, it's kind of a catch-22. Like, I don't mind the dancing being back. At the same time, I kind of wish Shantae had more than just the typical belly dance. She doesn't have any of her other moves in this game.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't do, like, the whole hip-hop thing or thing with her arms. She only has, like, the belly.
Yeah, it's a different animation than the one she used to use for that, too. The one other thing, really easy beginner's trap to fall into in this area, you're tempted to grab onto the hooks and, pull yourself along, even though you don't have to, and if you do that, you're always going to get hit by the goddamn fish thing. Always.
Well, at least on the bottom level.
At least on the bottom level. Because
yeah, on the bottom level. You have to do it on the top, but on the bottom level, you're always going to get hit by the goddamn fish thing. So don't do that.
I think the fish thing leaves upon revisits, though, which makes sense.
Yes, it does.
So
yeah, because Techno Baron isn't doing his thing anymore.
No.
I wish they treated the fire the same way, but
My only issue with dancing in this game, or I should just say just the transformations in general, is a few dances are heavily underutilized, and some of them just feel outright redundant.
We'll get to that later, but I completely understand what you're talking about, and there are several that I agree 100% with. But fortunately,
we can wait till later to get to that.
Yeah, but fortunately for you, John, Risky will probably just end up being a Pirate's Curse mode.
Yeah, basically, because Because, spoiler alert, in her boss fight, she basically has all the Pirate's Curse weapons.
Yes,
which was cool.
And you know what? I smiled like a fucking child when that happened. Because I was like, oh, they got these animations down pat. I know exactly what Risk was.
I did peek ahead and see that, and the first thing I thought, and this is going to be a bit ironic to say, considering you brought up the DMC counter earlier, the first thing I thought of was Virgil.
Oh, get that ding right.
Yeah. John, better send me that graphic.
The first thing I thought of was Virgil, because that's basically what he was. He used your moves and your weapons against you. So,
You know what? One thing that I really hope that we get then in these other modes is boss fights against the other playable characters. Like when we play as Whiskey, I hope we get a Shantae boss fight where she like transforms into the animals and stuff. And like I don't know how they'd fit it in story wise, but it'd be fun I think to get like a Sky or Bolo or Roddy Top's boss fight too in those extra modes. And it doesn't even really have to make sense because this is the kind of game where they'll fight and then kiss and make up and suddenly you're friends again afterwards.
People blow up.
this is the kind of thing where
someone.
This is the kind of story where someone honestly thinks making fake mermaids out of women is a viable plan for business. So yeah, I think we've gotten past the point of really talking about what does and doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Funny story about my first playthrough of the game here. Ryan's about to find the room where you get the bat dance. I didn't know that you could jump down through platforms Contra style, and so I had to call Sky, whistle, and go all the way through the level again. And I didn't have enough money for the warp dance at that point. So
This dance, I for sure think was a response to everyone having the same thought in previous Shantae games, where the bat enemies always looked like a Shantae transformation.
It's adorable.
They never were.
It's adorable. I think the crab transformation is probably, I think, the cutest one. But the bat's a close second. It's adorable, and I honestly, I like it a lot.
It's a direct call to the previous bat designs in the earlier games.
Well, those same enemies are still in Half-Genie Hero.
Yeah, but they don't have the tiara this time anymore.
They don't?
They got rid of the tiara.
Huh. Okay. Well, I'll have to look at that. Oh, that room. You can't clear that room until you get Spider.
Spider and Harpy.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think you need
Harpy, but Spider you can do it.
No, you don't need the Harpy at all. Honestly, I think it's easier with the. I think it's easier
Spider
using the bat and the Spider because you don't have to deal with the Harpy's kind of awkward control. So yeah,
or
that's
adjusting your height.
That's the only room in the game, I think, where the Spider is more viable than the Harpy, honestly. Because the Spider, I believe, is one of those transformations that really didn't need to be in the game. Because you use it for like 2 things, and that's it.
2?
No,
the Spider even gets a power-up that you never use.